I knew it. I should have just asked for it. I love having things in my hand. Women, you are so dirty. Wow. 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 Oh my God. You know, when most people are on stage and they're like, wow, wow, it's because this energy is coming up and they're trying to embrace it. But at that moment, I was saying, wow, because when you guys, somebody clapped and this waft, I could smell something coming from out there. Could you smell it? Oh, it smelled like excitement. Okay, I can't actually smell your excitement. That would make me freaky, which we already know I am. But freaky awesome. You know who has a freaky awesome nose? All furry four-legged people. Animals have the most amazing noses. They can smell, well, actually we've known for a long time that they can smell fear. But the truth is that all of your emotions have a smell. And they can smell all of those too, including excitement. Animals' noses are so great, they can even smell diabetes and cancer. So, like, obviously, they can smell your excitement. So why is it that animals have this amazing nose that humans just don't have? Well, it really boils down to the neuron receptors in your olfactory bulb. So a human has 10 million neuron receptors associated with smell, which actually sounds like a lot. But a cat has 80 million. And a dog has 400 million, right? So let's say I hate my job and I'm angry. A human would know based on how I'm behaving. But an animal would know based on behavior, yes, but they'd be able to smell that anger on me. So a group of scientists from the Department of Biology in Naples, Italy, decided to test animals' noses a bit further. And they were able to prove that not only do animals smell our emotions, but they feel them with us. Okay, disclaimer here. Not all animals are walking around feeling your feels with you. It's the ones that we have a strong bond with. It's kind of like the response a mother would have to a baby crying versus her baby crying. Or like the squirrel who lives outside my window isn't going to be thrown into depression when I have PMS. We are, hopefully, maybe, we are emotionally entangled to the people we really love. So, back to the study. Why does it matter? I know you're going to be thinking about squirrels now and depression. Why does it matter if animals can feel our feels with us? Well, let's go back to that job. Or you're all entrepreneurs. You're constantly living in a state of stress. Stress creates a lot of cortisol in the body because you're in fight or flight. That leads to tumors. Tumors lead to cancer. So while this is happening in your body, your beloved animal companions start to mirror you, and they're in a state of fight or flight, which leads to cortisol, leads to tumors, and that leads to cancer. So when I share this with people, they're like, oh my God, well, my cat or dog lays on me when I'm sad or stressed, and they want to be with me to comfort me. They do. They love comforting us. We share our secrets with them. In fact, they become the keepers of our secrets that we don't feel safe sharing with anyone else. And just by being with them, it can be healing. This is a symbiotic relationship of nurture. And when we feel good, they feel good. But when we let our emotions get the best of us, it can impact their health. So right now, I want you to imagine that you're all a bunch of skunks. Cute skunks. All skunks are cute. You're cute skunks. And every time you have a fear emotion, you do what skunks do. Psst. So you're like, oh my God, I'm going through a breakup. Psst. Or, oh my God, why am I still on Facebook? I hate it. Psst. All of the trolls. Psst. 3 years ago, I was going to delete this account. Psst. The trolls are actually my family members. Psst. Or let's just be real. For the better part of 2 years, collectively, women, as we have these fears that the few rights we are granted are being taken away, we're like, right? So the next time something really crummy is happening in your life, and a friend of yours approaches you and goes, wow, that really stinks. You can be like, actually, it does. You can smell that too. So one of my stinkier moments was in 2008. I was going through a breakup, and I knew that I needed to put a lot of distance between us or we'd get back together. So I packed up my super glamorous vaudeville and circus sideshow life in Hollywood. And I moved to Minnesota. I know. I can laugh about it now. Where I immediately became an old spinster at the age of 30 because everyone there gets married on high school graduation day and then pumps out 1 million babies 5 seconds later at the graduation party. So I'm standing out like a sore thumb. And everyone there had the same question for me. Why aren't you married? And it was followed with all of this pity because, she's an unwed woman in her 30s without any children. She probably doesn't even go to church. All three things were right. So it's a hot, humid summer night, and I'm sitting in the window of my apartment with really frizzy hair, which is important to this story because frizzy hair always makes you feel worse about yourself. And even though I knew that what they had said was BS, it started to seep into my psyche like poison. And I was like, oh my God, maybe they were right. Maybe I shouldn't have listened to the feminists. Maybe I shouldn't have been working on my career in Hollywood. Maybe I should have been breeding. Maybe I should have been perfecting my tater-tot hot dish. I know. It's funny, we can laugh. But you guys, I was really alone. And I was so afraid. And no one wanted to hang out with me because of my black hair, and they thought I was satanic. And so I'm sitting there, and I'm like, oh my God, I have nothing. I have no one. They're right. Oh my God, no one loves me. And in that moment, my soul companion walked over. She looked deeply into my eyes, put her paw on my hand, and said, "Me, you're here for me." My kitty, Holly, could smell and feel everything I was going through. And it was in that moment that I really understood this symbiotic relationship we had. We kept each other alive. So 3 years later, actually it was 4 years later, at the age of 17, when she was diagnosed with an incurable disease, and the vet said, she's old, she's had a good life, she'll die soon. I threw myself into immediate action because I knew that I could not live without her, and in this moment, she really could not live without me. My symbiotic partner had forced me to evolve and take this responsibility and turn it into an opportunity to grow. So I immediately started studying to become a holistic animal practitioner, studying the body and the brain and figuring out how to build up the immune system. I started learning from biologists who were studying cancer. Holly was my first patient. I have since worked with thousands. By the way, she lived an additional 3 years because of the work I did with her. And what I've learned is that when animals come to me because they're really sick, it is very common that they have been living with a human who has been dealing with a lot of emotional trauma. So what do we do if we are perfuming the people we love, the animals, our fur babies, with sadness and it's making them sick? Because it's an unreasonable request to say, entrepreneurs, you are not allowed to feel your feelings. I believe that we need to start mirroring animals. Animals have happiness figured out. And even though Holly is no longer here, I can tell you what she would say. She would say, connect with the people you love. Hold pause. Find the sunny spots. Play with sparkly stuff. Get the zoomies. Make more muffins. Doing things we love that brings joy can create new cell growth in your body. And I believe that joy is the antidote to disease, not just in us, but in our animal companions. And I'm going to explain to you how that is. Because when you experience joy and happiness, your brain releases chemicals, serotonin, endorphins, dopamine. It relaxes your muscles. It oxygenates your blood. It helps you digest things. Your hormones regulate. New cell growth happens. That's called the physiological relaxation response. And this is why, if you go to the doctor with a broken arm, they're going to ask you your pain level. If you say 2, they're going to give you an Advil. If you say 10, they're going to hand you a Percocet. They're not handing out painkillers because they feel bad for you. They're trying to trigger this response in you because you can't heal if you are in pain. And new cell growth cannot happen in the body if any of that process is disrupted. This is why CBD oils are all the rage right now. So a few years ago, I decided to do this experiment. I wanted to see if I could trigger this response in animals through an audio track. So I took everything I knew I could put into an audio track, and I put it up on my website, and I handed it out to anyone who wanted it for free to play with their animals. You can still get it. Now, I had no idea if anybody was going to want it, and I had no idea if it was even going to work. Thousands of people have downloaded this track, and each week I receive emails. And the emails are miraculous. Cats who were in final stages of kidney failure with 2 days to live are still alive 2 years later with a great bill of health that vets can't explain. Animals, dogs who were having panic attacks because of 4th of July fireworks, like on the verge of heart attacks, were pulled out of that trauma state within minutes of listening to this track. And animals who were going to be euthanized because of aggressive cancers and tumors that couldn't be operated on went into spontaneous remission, and the tumors shrunk on their own. So women, I can talk to you about joy until I am blue in the freaking face, and you'd be like, oh yeah, but I have to do the dishes and I gotta do that one thing. But your symbiotic partners in life depend on it. So why wait until someone is sick and hope that someone else can heal them? With this knowledge, you also have a responsibility that you can turn into an opportunity to turn your that harm into perfumes that heal. And that is some of the best dang preventative medicine out there. Thank you. Thank you. It's good smells coming up here.